Hello everyone. Today I am going to cover in detail about a very important topic in payment cards, the CVC or the CVV, basically the card validation code that is present on our payment cards. So what are we going to look in this video? We will cover what is CVC or CVV and what are the various names with which it is called across various schemes. What is the input data used to generate a CVC and how it is generated. Please note, in this video, the terminology CVC and CVV would be used interchangeably. So what is CVC? It is a unique code that is generated by the issuer used as a security feature. The issuer generates and puts the CVC value which is only verifiable by the issuer. This CVC value is passed to the issuer during an authorization, basically when a transaction is performed, to validate if this transaction is done using a legitimate card. This CVC is called with different names across various schemes. For example, in MasterCard it is called CVC, a card validation code. In Visa it is called CVV, a card verification value. In RuPay it is called CVD, card validation data. In JCB it is called CAV, card authentication value. It is used for all types of cards, credit, debit, prepaid cards, etc. Usually the CVC is a 3-digit value. However, for Amex it is a 4-digit called as a card identification code. So let's look at what is CVC. For a given card, there are two CVC values, CVC1 and CVC2. First one is CVC2, which is printed and visible on the back of the card, below the magnetic stripe on the right side. This CVC value is used for any manual entry transactions. When I say manual entry transactions, whenever we do a transaction on the e-commerce website, we enter the card number, expiry date and CVC value. The CVC value that we enter is the one that is visible on the plastic. So this is called CVC2. The next one is CVC1, which is present inside the magnetic stripe of the card, which is not visible for us. The number is not visible to us. It is stored inside the magnetic stripe. This particular data is also referred to as track data inside the magnetic stripe. This is used whenever a card is used in a POS machine using a magnetic stripe interface. We call it a swipe. Since we are talking about the track data, I will briefly show about how a track data looks like. So I said that there are two tracks on a given magnetic stripe. The first one is called track 1. So it contains the card number, the cardholder name, the expiry date, the service code and the CVV one. And the next one is called track 2 data, which consists of the card number, expiry date, service code, PVV and CVC1. So let's look at what are the input data required for generating a CVC. The first one is the card number and the second one is the expiry date. The third one is called a service code. It is covered in the subsequent slide. And lastly, the CVK key. So this is a symmetric key pair that is generated by the issuer and is used by the issuer for generating the CVC and also to validate it. It is unique for every card bin range. Now let's look at what is a service code. Service code is a 3-digit code that defines the usage of the card. When I say usage, it tells us if the card can be used domestically or internationally. Is it an EMV card, or if any restrictions on what type of transactions can be performed. The first byte of the service code defines the usage and the technology. As you can see, if it is 1, then it can be used internationally. If it is true, it can be used internationally and it is a chip card. The second digit identifies the processing routes. As you can see, if it is 2, then it has to be authorized by the issuer and the transaction should always be online. And the third digit covers the type of transactions that can be done using the card. So 1 means every kind of transaction can be performed. So these are some of the sample service codes. Like 101 means it is a magnetic stripe international use card, 201 means EMB chip card, 601 means national use EMB chip card, etc. These are some of the standard service codes that is mostly used.